on, let's go outside. Let's take a walk in the sun. There are things to learn and things to see. A big wide world for you, your dog, and me. Dog Talk. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Dog Talk. I'm Pat Becker. You know my co-host Rusty, and
Morning,
Christina
Pat.
Stevens is with us today. We've made this dog our dog of the week. Now, he is a puppy in training. So tell me about this.
This is Baxter. He is in training for Leader Dogs for the Blind. His bandana says he's a future leader dog. Leader Dogs for the Blind is based in Michigan, and they train dogs for blind and deaf-blind clients. And they provide them at absolutely no cost to the clients.
That's fantastic. And of course, this is one of the most difficult situations for a person is if they have both disabilities. Mm-hmm. And a dog like this, of course, gets them through life. Yeah. And it's equally as tough, I am told, in training a dog that does both, because the dog has to be so closely. And I understand, too, that the ties between the dog and the owner, the person who is using this dog, has to go through a series of training, too, because they definitely have to bond. Has there ever been a time when they just didn't bond and you had to switch dogs or something?
Well, he's my first dog to train for Leader Dogs, and that's something. When they go back to Leader Dogs, they spend about 4 to 5 months with the Leader Dog trainers, and then they will match them with clients. And they do a very good, they have spent, I send in surveys, they observe him, learning his personality, and then when they have him back, they spend a lot of time getting to know him. And then when they go to place a client, they get to know the client, and they do their very best to make sure they place each and match each dog with the clients.
Yeah, and we might say too that this is a service dog, as is different from a therapy dog. So if you are in the vicinity of a person who has one of these dogs and is using one of these dogs, I'll take one of your little treats here. If you are in that kind of situation, then you want to be very, very careful not to pet the dog, not to run to the dog, because these dogs have been given a job, and their job depends on their constant devotion to that opportunity for helping the people who are in need. So this is fantastic. This is your first time?
He's my first puppy to raise.
I have a question for Pat. What basic skills are you working on as you're raising him, and what do you expect when you give him away? How hard is that going to be for you?
The basic skills we work on are sit, laying down, come, stay, walking on a leash. The biggest one he has to work on, and this is very, very difficult for him, is settling and just being still and quiet, as well as not running up and saying hi to every person he sees. He's a very social puppy.
Gotcha.
And you know, this too lies in the breeding of the dog. The dog is part lab and part golden. There is that energy, which of course gives them the focus, which is what you need. So it's a very, very worthy thing. Well, we have made him the dog of the week and made you the dog handler of the week. And I know that you'll want to take him. When I swing this around, he's going to definitely go into action because he'll see things.
Oh, and there's a bag of things.
It is a bag of things, and this is a $100 gift certificate to A1 Pet Emporium. And you take it in there, and obviously you'll take him in for a little training. And
we go in
buy him some treats and what have you. There are things inside this bag which will excite them. Do you try to keep that from happening?
We try to do it when I'm not planning for it, but there are times when our training that I will put out things to get him excited, and we practice good choice making.
Oh, excellent.
And so, yes. So making the good choice to not go stick his nose in the bag right now.
And I'm going to kind of help that. So I won't put him in that position. Well, we appreciate so much you coming in. And down the road, if you have some more of these, your second puppy, bring him in.
All right.
Okay? We're going to take a quick break, folks, and when we come back, we're going to have some more intimacy. Yes. More things to do, yes.
A1 Pet Emporium is Oklahoma's authority on healthy nutrition for dogs and cats. Quality does not have to cost more, and we only have the best. If your pet suffers from allergies, digestive issues, skin infections, or hair loss, it may be the result of their diet. A1 Pet Emporium can help. We offer pet portraits monthly, adorable rescue animals every Saturday from noon to 4, and free dog and cat food samples. Locally owned and operated, we want to be your neighborhood pet store.
Pat, that was a great segment. I love when we can have a dog in training here on set.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's wonderful.
Well, you think that was nice? We did a trip to Enid, to the SPCA there,
Okay.
and we took some great video.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
All right, let's do it. What a pleasure to come to the Enid SPCA. I've heard about it for a long time. One of your volunteers, Megan, had emailed me and said you ought to come up and take a look. I said, you know what? It's time.
Oh, yay.
We're so glad to have you.
Well, I am just thrilled because, as I had mentioned to Vicki, after seeing this facility, it is a model facility for saving dogs' lives and cats, educating people, getting these animals into a safe place that is not just convenience. It's not just somewhere for them to come and stay for a while. It's not total incarceration. It is a happy place.
Yes.
And
yeah.
that is everybody's mission, isn't it?
Yeah. And thank you so much for saying that, because we feel that way, but to have it come from somebody on the outside, it helps to reedify with us that we are doing the right thing, and
Yes. So Vicki, tell me your position here. Vicki and Kayla, by the way, and so tell me what you do here.
Well, I am one of the co-founders. I'm the executive director, and of course that means that I do HR, accounts receivable, accounts payable, clean cages if need be, whatever needs to be done. I mean, everyone here pitches in and wears multiple hats.
Excellent. So Kayla, what do you do?
I take care of the media side of things. I take care of our website, kind of the public relations, customer service.
Which you do an excellent job,
Thank
by the
you.
way. It's so helpful for us to come into a facility and be able to be guided, by someone who understands the media, understands what we do. So tell me now, this building is so super. There are 2 areas in it, and the original building, which is where we are now, housed all of the cats and dogs that you took in. Every room that I went in for the cats and the dogs was light, it was beautiful, and the cats especially. Cats usually are kind of secondary, animals, and they don't usually get the attention. I mean, they look so happy.
The first 5 years that we existed, we were solely a foster-based organization, and myself and the other co-founder, Gabriella Wilson, we were the major foster homes for the longest time. So we kind of took a little bit of our knowledge and put it to use when we built this building. And it was really important to us that the cats live in a communal home environment, because we felt like that was going to make them more adoptable. They were going to acclimate to a new home much better that way. So that was the idea behind what we did.
Excellent. That is so great. And I noticed there's a lot of food that was there that was for them. How did you get that food?
We decide on a food product that we're going to feed, and that's what we do, and we purchase that.
Oh, excellent.
Because we also believe it's important to maintain a certain diet, because for some animals it can be really detrimental to their...
Oh, absolutely. Digestively, it really is.
So we try to stay pretty steady on that.
So we saw there was an intake, you had an intake arrival here, the little dog that came in. So how many of those dogs do you get during the week, would you say?
Oh, wow. It varies. We adopted 550 animals last year.
Wow.
And 95% of our animals are housed here. They're not in foster care.
So it's not only the adult dogs, but I noticed you had puppies too.
We do.
We just came off of a mega adoption event from our PetSmart weekend, and we adopted out 16 pets, which actually made us have room for all these puppies that we are intaking now.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Lord knows they certainly need it. I noticed that you had some beautiful pictures on the wall. Somebody told me you took those. You're a photographer.
Yes, I do. Whenever I have time, we get to take some downtime and take some better pictures of the cats and dogs. It makes them so much more adoptable to have good photos representing them online.
Oh, absolutely. And it occurred to me that if a person in this town wanted a picture of their dog, you could donate your time and they could buy that picture.
Absolutely.
Pay for that, and that would be another source, you know, of revenue for the
Great
facility. You know, because you do such a super job.
Thank you.
And that's excellent.
Kayla does do some of that. We have Christmas photos, and we have Halloween photos
Yes,
where we
the
have
Halloween
pet
photos are
costumes and
really
people
popular.
can
How
come
cute
and do
is that?
So.
But you know, a portrait picture. I noticed all of yours were that I saw out in the lobby, so to speak, were looked like portrait pictures, and that's really important. It's a legacy for those pets with their families, and so we need to get into that. That would be great. We visited your kennels, which are vast. You have how many can you house there?
Well, we have 22 canine kennels with indoor-outdoor access, and we hold 6 to 9 of those can be used as quarantine, healthy quarantine. When an animal comes in, of course, they go through a 10-day quarantine period.
Exactly.
But depending on how they come into us as to how we house them, because we don't double up animals who don't come in as a pair. Litters of puppies sometimes will all be able to be in one kennel. It really depends on the size of the animal.
And I saw outside you had a wonderful trailer there with your with a logo and all of this stuff. So you guys have been working here for how long now, did you tell me?
I have been here, it will be 19 years this year.
Wow, that's a good while. And you,
I've
Kayla?
only been here a year since March, but prior to that, I was a volunteer and a board member.
And a board member. So you got off the board and into the job.
Yes.
And
Well,
we are
I'm-
very thankful for that.
I started to say I know that everybody does appreciate that. Well, this has just been such a good visit, and we appreciate you letting us come in. We would like to make a donation today of $1,000
Oh, my
to your
goodness.
organization
That's
in
wonderful.
appreciation. Well, I don't see how anyone coming in here could not be moved to do that with everything that you all have accomplished and everything. The future looks so bright for so many animals who are desperately needing homes and that sort of thing. So we congratulate you on everything that you have done. Good job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Pat, that looked like a great trip. I don't know how you didn't come back with any more puppies.
It was tough. It was really tough.
Wow. Coming up next, Trisha Clark with A1 Pet Emporium. We're going to talk about some different dog food options. So we'll see you after this break.
Hey, Dog Talk fans, make sure you join the conversation on social media. Just go to facebook.com/dogtalktv. We'd love to hear a story of your furry friend, so send us an email to pat@dogtalktv.com. You could be featured as our Dog of the Week. Now, enjoy the show.
Trish, there is an issue that I'd like to discuss. You have just seen the wonderful video that we did
Right.
at the end.
And that was awesome.
Oh, it was wonderful. That SPCA does it all right. But there is an issue coming out of a shelter or a rescue. Obviously, funds are hard to come by.
Right.
So the food is basic, good,
Right.
but basic.
Right.
And of course, there is a transition period. When you adopt a dog from a shelter or a rescue, the transition between that food and your food, I'd like to talk about
Well,
that.
and I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people, they want to feed their dog a good food, and we want to encourage that. But one of the things that you need to take into consideration is you don't want to jump into like maybe a really high-end food, especially dogs that are coming from a
High
shelter.
protein or
Right.
carbs or anything.
Right. You know, really a lot of meat and things like that, because a lot of times these dogs are basically not getting the best of foods. And so going from a, you know, kind of a lower end food and then jumping into a higher end food can cause some major stomach issues.
Yeah, and most of them, I will say, are basic. They're basic stuff, and they're careful about
Right,
what they
right.
feed.
But so, you know, so we carry some really great, you know, you can either feed it all around all the time. I like to call them less expensive foods, which we have, and I want people to understand that as well. So, you know, you might want to start out with some of the, and I brought kind of a few.
Okay, talk about
okay,
some
so
of these.
This is our multi-pro. This is Victor. We sell a ton of this. We actually have it in a 50-pound bag. So a lot of people that have multi-dogs, large dogs, especially a lot of people that have Great Danes, feed this in our store because it's a really great deal for a large bag.
Is this the same then?
The same brand. This one is actually more designed for active dogs and puppies. So great for those families that maybe have a little bit of both, or wanting a really good food that they can feed puppies but then transition into, you know, an active dog. Our Diamond Grain Free is another really good one. This actually comes in 3 different flavors, so you can actually kind of rotate their flavors around so they don't get bored. Premium Edge we also sell a lot of. We also have this in 3 different flavors. That does really good, and it also has some glucosamine and chondroitin, so it's also great for that joint health. And then our Pro Pack comes in 4 varieties. Again, these are all really great, you know, kind of maybe transitional foods, or if you just don't have the funds and you want to kind of do a good food, but kind of on the lower end.
Especially in multiple dog households.
Exactly.
You know, of course, the cost can be prohibitive.
Right.
So these.
So I have a question though. When you're bringing a new dog in, it would be nice if you can get some of their food when you bring them in and then combine it.
Exactly. You know, if you can do that, or maybe even find out what they're feeding and kind of buy a small bag and then kind of transition. That's always the
great idea.
That's the best way to do it. You know, we tell people typically, you know, especially if you don't know how the dog is going to react at first, you know, do 25% of your new food, and then over a period of time, you know, kind of gradually get up to that 100%. And you want to do it slow,
right?
really
And
slowly.
I like how you offer small bags so they can find what works before they commit to a bigger 55-gallon bag.
Exactly. And we also, you know, offer 100% guarantee. So, like, if you do buy a food from us and it just doesn't work, because sometimes it just doesn't work for whatever reason. You can bring it back.
Are there other things that you can add to that transition? You mentioned pumpkin or green beans, things like that. Great
question. I would, even if you're going to slowly transition a dog from one food to another brand of food, you definitely want to do it slowly, and then we have a couple of different things that you can add to their diet, which also helps that transition. One of them is a canned pumpkin. We actually sell it. It's by a company named Fruitables. And it's called Switch, so it's specifically designed to
for when you switch foods.
And then
makes sense.
And then really, you're going to kind of think this is funny, but it's awesome. Goat's milk. We sell raw goat's milk. It's not been pasteurized.
Goat's milk is good, and dogs like it.
This
is the
love
thing that I would not drink that, but
they love it.
My dogs like it.
No, they love it. And what's neat about goat's milk, it is the most nutritionally complete food on the planet.
And it's easy on their digestive system, and that's the bottom line. It's your
natural probiotics. So it's just amazing to help too. So
you are amazing. You always have answers for us. We always have questions.
I try my best, and that's what we do is in our stores. You know, we're trying to help people keep their animals healthy, and so that's our whole goal. So.
Well, we appreciate it so much, as usual, Trish.
Thank you very much.
It's just wonderful. And it's A1 Pet Emporium. There are 3 stores now.
3 stores.
There's Edmond and May
and Britton, and then our new Southside location on 119th and Western.
Works for me. Works for everybody.
So
we're going to take a quick break, folks, and when we come back, tick season is with us. I am told by the veterinarians it's going to be a tough one. It is going to be bad. So we have a little video that Dr. Little has given us about how to deal with those things. We'll be right back.
A1 Pet Emporium is Oklahoma's authority on healthy nutrition for dogs and cats. Quality does not have to cost more, and we only have the best. If your pet suffers from allergies, digestive issues, skin infections, or hair loss, it may be the result of their diet. A1 Pet Emporium can help. We offer pet portraits monthly, adorable rescue animals every Saturday from noon to 4, and free dog and cat food samples. Locally owned and operated, we want to be your neighborhood pet store. store.
We are so excited today to be at OSU. This is the veterinary hospital that we have great regard for. And we are with Dr. Susan Little, who is a parasitologist. Now tell us, what does that mean?
Well, a parasitologist is, in my case, a veterinarian who works on parasites, which are animals that live in or on other animals. And so most pet owners are familiar with parasites, things like fleas and ticks and heartworm.
In this state, we are almost plagued with parasites. And parasites can be a terrible thing for dogs, but also for people. There are a lot of zoonotic diseases that we can get from our animals. So tell us exactly. I see that you had you put a little tiny tick on Pippin's head, and she's going to carry it around for a while.
That's right.
And we're going to see how to get rid of it.
It's important not to do it with just your bare fingers, because when you do, if you accidentally pop the tick, or even if not, there's a little bit of fluid right at where the tick has attached to the skin, right at the bite site. And if that gets into your hangnail, or if you accidentally breathe in some droplets in the air, then the infection can actually be transmitted to you.
So
and
tell me what infections they will be transmitting.
The ones we worry about most in Oklahoma are Rocky Mountain spotted fever, of course. There's another one that's called Ehrlichia that both dogs and people get, Ehrlichiosis. And we're actually, per capita, per population, we're the #1 state for Rocky Mountain spotted fever and Ehrlichia. So it's so important we protect ourselves and also our dogs.
If you can, show us how to do that. I'm going to set her down.
Well, and I have a little
with her.
sort of home tick removal kit. Now, if you want to do this with your fingers, it's recommended that you just wear gloves. And of course, we're at OSU, so I have orange gloves to show you
How
this
perfect
technique
is that?
today.
But you can get those like for dishwashing and stuff like that.
Yes, dishwashing gloves, any kind of cleaning latex gloves, just something to protect your fingers so that you don't, if they do pop. And then you can also use forceps, which of course, tweezers, which means you don't have to wear gloves. But you just expose the tick, and then very close to where the mouth parts are attached, you just grasp the tick and then remove it. And see, she didn't even flinch. There's a little bite. You can see that left behind there.
So they work quick.
And we don't recommend, what many people may have heard is using Vaseline or some sort of oil on the tick to suffocate it so that it'll back out. And when you do that, it'll actually regurgitate into the skin. And so then it passes the bacteria into the dog, and that's not what we want.
Yeah, so mainly, basically what you're saying, Dr. Little, is that you just remove the tick.
And then the second step is equally important. Now you have this tick.
Yes.
And so what you want to do is contain it somehow. And what we do is put them in a jar of alcohol. And just rubbing alcohol will work. And then put the lid on. That kills the tick, and it contains it too. But the other thing, if people don't have that at home, that most people do have, is a Ziploc bag. So you can just place it in this self-sealing bag and close it up. And that works very well to contain the tick. It's crawling on me now.
Yeah, it's a very
yeah, see, so they're
very
still alive when they're
energetic tick.
removed.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's so important that they be contained.
And you know, for another reason that just occurred to me, that if you pull one of those off of yourself and you have the tick, that if you experience some kind of symptoms, you can take that tick in.
Yeah, and also for your dog. And so 2 to 3 weeks is when the acute symptoms develop. So if you save this tick for a few weeks, then you can take it to your physician if you become ill. If it came from your dog, you can take it to your veterinarian, and they'll be able to help you identify it. They'll know what tick it is and what diseases it may have transmitted.
Well, as I say, we appreciate it so much. It has been so helpful.
Well, thank you for coming.
Pippin, you are such a good girl, boy. I just think you are an absolute addition to this place. She said, I think I am too.
And she's orange and black.
And she's orange and black. There you go. You can't beat that. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Wow, Pat, that was a great episode. We were having some conversations about ticks and challenges we've had.
They say the season is going to be huge.
So definitely
watch
be
out,
careful,
folks.
check your dogs, just make sure you're prepared. So it should be a fun season.
For sure.
So I want to transition a little bit. Normally we talk about books. We talk about some kid books. But hey, movies are just as fun. And we've got a couple selections here that are have dogs in them, that are fun for the whole family. We start with the little Nickelodeon movie here with some pups on patrol. They're a lot of fun. And, you know, I grew up with Scooby-Doo, so now Scooby-Doo's in Lego. I mean, it's crazy. I can't imagine what the Scooby snacks look like.
I know it. And this one was too. You had mentioned this one, And I have seen this one. It's great for adults and
It's
kids.
a great family movie for everyone. My kids loved it. I enjoyed it. There's humor in it for anything.
There really is.
You know, it's fantastic. And then for me personally, I'm a lab guy. So Marley and Me is just I'm just gonna take that one home and enjoy it. It's fantastic.
You know, that is so funny because we show that every so often, you know, and it was a great movie.
It's a great example of a lab. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So we seriously, there are some great movies for you to enjoy with your kids of all ages.
Absolutely.
You know, this one you can just put on repeat and it's fantastic. So. But also books. I hear a rumor that you're working on a couple of new kids' books.
We have a couple books coming out. My last working dog, pointer dog book is coming out, and it's called Lucky Leo. And then I have one that's going to be a children's book that is going to be a series, and it's called Bandit and Company. And it's going to be wonderful too, so I think that you'll enjoy that. And next month we'll probably have that, so I'll show you.
Well, we got a few more minutes. Tell us a little bit about Lucky Leo.
Lucky Leo is a dog that was lost and was actually abandoned in the field, which happens to some bird dogs. You know, if they act a little bit fussy or they run off and you can't find them, a lot of not all, but a lot of hunters will just leave them. So this is what happened to this dog. He finds his way into a town and through a lot of different circumstances finds a family that takes him in, and he is, again, all of his confidence comes back and he turns out to be an excellent dog.
Can't wait to read it.
Yeah, the little book of Bandit and Company is going to be great because I really like it. I feature a lot of different breeds of dogs.
Perfect.
And it starts out with Bandit, who is a combination of a bird dog and a Great Dane. And he is taken to a farm, and he has a lot of friends on the farm. And from the farm, a lot of people bring their dogs in, so it's good company for them. It's a new person, and it's a new dog, and so it's really going to go on, and they have a lot of adventures, and I think everybody will find it fun.
I can't wait to share it with our viewers. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
I hope you like it. I think
I
you
will. Absolutely. It's my level. I mean, we'll have fun reading it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Guys, this has been great. It has been so wonderful having you with us. Be sure and send us your comments on our Facebook page. And gosh, Rusty and I work so hard getting these things all together for you. But if there's something that you want, especially, let us know, and we will do that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait to hear what you guys are going to give us next. It should be fun.
So take care, be kind to your dogs, and we'll see you next week.
Talking about dogs, talking about big dogs, talking about little dogs, oh yeah. Chasing the ball, chasing the cat, digging holes, thing like that. Dogs, talking about dogs. Laughing dogs, sad dogs, happy dogs, mad dogs, dogs, just talking about dogs. Lost and alone, running the street, checking the garbage, looking to eat. Out there sad and on their own, the law will get them if they got no home. Dogs, talking about dogs. Dogs, we're talking about dogs. You say they were angels sent from above, then a year or two later you fell out of love. You dumped them, man, and kicked them out. Now what the heck was that about? Dogs, we're talking about dogs. Dogs, them poor little dogs. Talking about big dogs, talking about a little dog, oh yeah. Chasing the ball, chasing the cat, digging the hole, things like that, dogs.